Ranjani, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
I think anybody from the Indian background here has heard Ekal Vidyalaya and the noble cause that you pursue to bring the underprivileged or not so privileged class to a level where they are well assimilated with the culture of progress. Wanted to ask you, since you are here at the conference, sharing your thoughts and ideas with other like-minded people who are doing similar initiatives. There is a different methodology to each region, each culture, even though the cause is the same, is to uplift the needy. When you look at and try to compare, are there some similarities and what are the challenges you see compared to the other compatriots on your panel in terms of Western style of providing education to the particular class?
Well, at a core, I think education is all the same, really. Just like Michael Kipp was talking about, it's all about finding the right teachers, working with the parents and the community, and inspiring the child, really. It's all about just inspiring the child to make a difference. So what makes our situation unique compared to the Western is we are a very diverse country, as you know, and Ekal is in every state in the country. So while we have a common curriculum, we have to be very unique to each of our regions. The other important thing is we go out and we are the first to create a market for education in many of the very rural and tribal areas where their own local culture is very important to them. Yes, there is quote unquote a culture for progress, but we cannot do it independent of the culture of the region. So we work very hard, unlike I think Westerners don't have quite that same challenge to work with the individual culture. The language is a very different for each of the states. As you know, even math is not the same when you go because 1 and 2 is not written the same. So those are some of the differences that we work. So what we do is we have a core curriculum that is, and I think that is where we are all very similar. Just like he was talking about Kip, it's about let the children have fun. In fact, our curriculum says, आओ कूदो खेलो गाओ नाचो. So we need to have the children should have fun. So and then we have these goals. They need to be able to read and write their language. They should be enumerate and all of that. But how that is implemented is very unique to each of the regions, and that is a challenge and an opportunity. For example, even just to say the letter G, right? If I say it's Gada, there's no Gadha in that area, they don't even know what that means, So the question is what is local, so we try to very much localize it and at the same time have a core curriculum that makes it scalable and sustainable.
Let's talk about the tools to learn, right? So similar initiatives here, the children who are growing up, regardless of whether they're educated or not, impoverished or power, it doesn't really matter. But the tools, the access to technology is a lot more permeable here than the regions where you try to focus. So what methodologies do you apply there? Because they don't have the same tools to read these things.
Right. Again, again at the panel they were talking about it. Technology is not yet even pervasive in America, I think. And for us, the tools are even less because we have very, very small amounts of money and we don't have a smart board or anything like that. But the most important tool that I think, which is common to us and to them, is to really train the teacher and to teach them how to teach. So what we do is really take a local youth and who has about 10th grade education and really give a rigorous training to them. So, it's really, the one thing we could do is go get a B.Ed from the city to come, but it just will not work for that region. So the most important tool for us is a tool, or we call them acharyas, so it's not quite a tool, but it's a teacher who knows how to teach, who is inspired. That is the most important thing, is to inspire to the work that he or she is doing and really know that the work they are doing is not just about making the child literate. That's very important, but really transforming their area. And hopefully that's also a big difference because here, they are learning to get a job and, and that's very important, don't get me wrong. But our children, we really feel it's more than that. It's about transforming that area and hopefully then transforming the nation at large. We don't want our children to go become part of the cities. We want to achieve Mahatma Gandhi's dream of making every village really privileged village. So.
What I wanted to ask you is, I think, and I don't know if you want to look at it the same way that I'm trying to position this, is I think Indian parents, or Indian children rather, have an advantage because parents, no matter what strata of society they are at, from a hawker to all the way up there, every parent has a deep desire that their offspring should be more educated, much better than them in life. If you compare that to developed nations, you have at disposal a decent earning income, so you have things of convenience in your households. There is not. So the only way out for you is to get educated for a better living. So that works to our advantage when I say, you know, for the kids in India, that, you know, parents are always trying to sacrifice what little they have, even that they want to let go to the student. So does that, you know, come into play as an advantage for you?
Well, where we are actually, those parents are slightly different from the middle class Indian parent, because there is no market for education where we are. They don't know the value of literacy. For us, mostly we are going to first generation learners, and in fact, when we go there and tell them, hey, we'll teach you to read and write, they go, for what for? And we'll say, oh, you become a city person. They go, they are the corrupt people. No, we don't want to do that. So we really work with them to help them understand but this is, I think, over the years though, there are many rural villages where the impact of education has been felt, and once Ekal comes in there, then they understand immediately, because at very minimum, our students, once they get start with us and we bridge them over to government schools and other areas, they've started villages where there was no education. Now they have 10th grade education. Women are getting, college degrees and things like that. So once that interest has been implanted, we find our parents are very motivated. And I think more modern times, I think there's a lot of dissemination of this knowledge that education is important. And I think, the reports all over show that even in rural areas, they're trying to find good education. So right now, yes, in areas where that, when the eye of enlightenment has been opened, that there is a value to education, it's been great. At other places, we really have to work with them, because our people are farmers. They go, if they start studying, they're not going to do our routine, family trade. And so we have to make them understand that a literate person, even if they're doing their family trade, without going further, their income can go up almost 5 times, because they know how to work better with the cities. They know how to, understand their monies. So once that understanding comes, I think the parents are very supportive. And actually, one of the big roles for the Ekal Acharya is to build that also and to show why education is important. And I'll say this at the last thing, when there is a government school, they've started coming in our areas, they've found that if there is an Ekal school close by, we start becoming a support system for them. And the impact studies show clearly that the government school students do much better, because we have given them that motivation to go there.
It's a great cause. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.